Hey guys, it's Bro You Whack, and do you want to have faster internet similar to this, or do you at least want to stop lagging out of games? Well, this video, I'm going to try to teach you ways on how to have more consistent internet, or even better yet, have even faster internet speeds, whether you play on console or even on PC. First thing I need you to do right away, run an internet test. You can do this online by going to speedtest.net and just hitting that little button, whether that's on your PC or phone, so that you can have a good benchmark and compare these tips to how they improve your internet. And luckily on something like PlayStation, there's a built-in speed tester where you can test out your internet, and it's going to give you a download speed and an upload speed. Typically, your download speed is going to be a lot bigger than your upload speed, but that upload speed is going to be kind of the more important thing that we're going to be changing, since that is the smaller number, and since you're sending a signal out to other people's systems whenever you do something in-game. And you want to try to do this before you get into these tips. Before getting into the tips, I gotta tell you the 3 things that help determine your internet speed. Knowing these 3 things will give you a better chance at determining what you can do yourself to give you better or more consistent internet speed. The first of which is where you live in the world. There are some parts of the world that is notorious for having choppy and bad internet speed, such as Australia, where on the flip side, a country like America is known to have great internet speed. But even within America, if you live in highly populated areas like Los Angeles, California, or Austin, Texas, there are fiber optic cables being provided in that area by specific companies to even give faster, more reliable internet, and it's all due to the fact that there is a lot of people that value internet in that area. And that's really important to know, so that in case you live in the countryside of Montana and you do everything in this video and it still doesn't help your internet speed, that you don't come after me for not fixing your internet. Well, it's probably due to the fact that you live at a specific part of the world where high internet speed is not really a priority. But luckily, there are 2 other things that can help determine your internet speed. The first of which is how much you pay for your internet, or rather how much your parents pay for the internet, and the second thing is where you play in the house. And that last tip is the one that we're really going to be focusing on, because it's so easy for me to say, just move to Los Angeles, get Google Fiber, and you'll be good to go. Well, that costs a lot of money, and nobody wants to live in Los Angeles at this time. Plus, even if you want to pay for the highest speed internet in your area, you're limited to what is provided in your area. Like me, for an example, I live in Arizona, and the high-speed internet that I have access to is Cox Gigablast. Even if I wanted Google Fiber, which is a lot cheaper than Cox Gigablast, I can't because it's not provided in my area. By the way, this isn't my address. This is just a Chuck E. Cheese in Arizona, so if you go to it, you're just gonna get mediocre pizza and animatronic mouses. But now that we know the big things that help determine our internet speed, what can we do for free or on the cheap to try to get us more consistent, or better yet, faster internet speed? Where the first thing is gonna be changing the DNS servers on our PlayStation, Xbox, or even PC. Now, what a DNS server is basically a domain name system. It provides you a direct server access provided by various companies like Cloudflare and Google. And there's lots of DNS servers provided. It just kind of depends on where you live in the world. So you might want to try a couple of these, and I'll provide you a list of all the DNS servers, or at least the top ones that you can try. But showing you on the PlayStation, what you're going to do is that you're going to go to your settings, you're going to go to Wi-Fi, go to custom, choose internet, and then choose automatic, do not specify, manual, and then enter the DNS number. There's going to be a primary and there's going to be a secondary number, and again, you're going to have to play around with various server numbers. Like there's one provided by Google that's just 8888 and then 8844 that you can try, or even just 1111. Just play around with it and test out your net speed and see what works. But then once you enter in your DNS number, then you can go to automatic, do not use, and then you should be finished setting up your internet, and then just see what your internet speed is. Now, for me personally, this actually made my internet speed a lot slower, so I don't personally use this, but this is a free way and really a successful way for a lot of people that do play over Wi-Fi. However, that's playing over Wi-Fi. The second tip, which I think is the better way to give you more faster and better yet, more consistent internet speed, is the thing that I've been personally doing for the past couple of years, and that is playing over an Ethernet cable. I listed off the DNS server tip first because it's an easy and simple way to maybe improve your internet speed, but Ethernet cable will provide you much better results at a very low cost. Depending on what type of Ethernet cable you get, it can cost you anywhere from $5 to even $30. How an Ethernet cable works is that you plug it into the back of your PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and even Nintendo Switch if you do have the adapter, and then take it all the way to your internet modem and plug it into it directly into the Ethernet port. And what this does is provide you a direct road of internet to your your system so that it doesn't have to fight with other things that are also using Wi-Fi from that same modem. It's kind of like you're the line leader whenever you're using an Ethernet cable. You're the first to get internet and the best internet and the most consistent internet, while everything over Wi-Fi kind of gets the second and third seat. There's only one problem to using an Ethernet cable, and that is you have a physical cable running from your modem to your console or PC. Now, that might not be bad in the situation where your modem is right next to your console, or it might be extremely bad because now you have a cable running through your living room, through your kitchen, all the way into your room because the modem is in your dad's office. And if I know anything about parents, or better yet, girlfriends, they do not like cables randomly in the middle of the hallway, which is where the third tip really comes into handy, which is moving the internet modem into your room/office. This can help when it comes to the first tips, because if you're using an Ethernet cable, now you don't have an Ethernet cable randomly in the middle of the house, or if you're playing over Wi-Fi and you refuse to pay $10 for a cable, better yet even $5, then you can still play over Wi-Fi and your modem is right next to your console, meaning that the Wi-Fi doesn't have to travel large distances and through walls. I don't think I really need to explain why stuff like walls and great distances affect internet speed, so if you want less spotty internet, kindly ask whoever has access to the modem if you can have it in your room. That way you can plug in the Ethernet cable and it won't really affect anybody else unless they're also gaming on the internet too. But if you're like my dad who doesn't like the internet being messed with, and this is where the fourth option can really come in, but you're gonna have to spend a little bit of money, and that is using an internet mesh network. So what an internet mesh network or an internet mesh system is basically points throughout the house that is almost like a router, but it's not the main router. It's just taking the Wi-Fi signal from your main modem and expanding it. It's basically an extension cable, but for Wi-Fi. But let me tell you, these are expensive. Like a pack of 3 of them can go anywhere from $100 to $500. So at that point, you might as well just move out of your house and just move to somewhere that has Google Fiber, because my God, like, why are they so expensive? Now, there are cheaper alternatives that I tried to use, but that didn't really work. That literally just plugs into the wall outlet where you can also put in an Ethernet cable. But again, from my experience, it didn't work. But if you want to try that route, and if you don't mind shipping it back if it doesn't work, then you can easily do that. Just also remember that some specific mesh networks only work with specific modems, so be sure to do your research on what modem you have and the mesh network that you're going to buy. Now, the fifth tip that I just recently found out with my internet is that you might want to replace your modem fully. Wi-Fi modems have life expectancies. Some live for 2 years, some can live up to 5 years, but you might experience this thing called packet loss, and it's all due to the fact that your Wi-Fi modem is starting to wear out. And that was exactly what was happening with me. Even though I have probably the fastest internet in all of Arizona, it was starting to become very inconsistent, and it was all due to the packets being lost. So I called Cox, and because I rent the modem from Cox directly, they replaced it for free. So if you're renting the modem, look into replacing it, or if you've been using the same modem for a couple of years now and you're experiencing packet loss, which you can easily call your internet provider and see what's going on with your internet. If you do have packet loss, then you might want to go and buy a new modem. And the last and final tip that I'm recently having to deal with is calling your internet provider and see if the cables connected to your house or connected to the neighborhood need to be replaced. If they're connected to your house, more than likely you're going to have to pay for it, but if they're connected to the neighborhood, more than likely you're not going to have to pay for it because the whole entire neighborhood is experiencing more slower internet speed. And that's exactly what's happening with me. Even though I get my 35 upload speed, I'm only getting 300 download, which is perfectly fine, but I'm paying for a gigabyte. 1,000 megabytes is what I'm supposed to be getting, and I'm only getting 1/3, and it's due to the fact that the internet wires in my neighborhood are either fried or just not that good anymore. These are more or less the popular things that could impact your internet speed that you can change yourself, but there is one last thing that I want to talk about that you might not know in case this is your first time learning about internet. And the last and final tip that I can give you is not playing games or using your console or PC during times where the internet is being heavily occupied. Your sister watching Netflix, your mom working, your dad looking up. Ooh, yikes, let's not talk about that. You know, people using that same modem means that the internet speed is being spread out to 3, 4, 5, 6 people, depending on how many people are in your household. So if your mom is in a conference call and your sister is in a Zoom call and your dad is watching, you know, his nightly shows, don't play competitive games because more than likely you're gonna be lagging out because the Wi-Fi is being so demanded on. Now, this is not an invitation for you to tell your mom and dad or brothers and sisters to stop using the internet, get off of Netflix, get off of the computer, because if they pay for the internet, they deserve to use the internet, and not just because you are losing competitive games and can't climb out of silver. Either wait for them to go to sleep or do all these other tips or move. There just comes to a point where you have to realize there's only so much that you can do. But the thing is, though, there is a lot that you can do. Getting an Ethernet cable, or playing at times where the internet is not being utilized, or moving the Wi-Fi modem into your room are all foolproof plans to give you better, faster, and more consistent internet speed. Maybe not by a drastic ton, but it'll help you nonetheless. So anyway, guys, I love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.